Hello guys, my name is Sean and today we are not actually going to work on the Z today, but instead we're going to actually talk about the history of the Z itself and what my plans are for it. So anyway, I went to the a paint shop down in Christchurch on Sherman Street. Just got a few supplies I'm going to need. I finally picked out the blue that I wanted. Got them mixed up for me. This is just to see how it's going to look like, because this color is basically going to be the color of the whole car as well. So this stuff here is probably just enough for the engine bay. The guy suggested that since I said that I sanded right back to bare metal in some areas, he said that it'd be a good idea to use an etch primer. I don't know much about it, but what you do is it just prepares it and it stops rust and all that stuff. But there's other areas in the engine bay where I have sanded, as you've seen in the previous videos, and it's gone back to the primer, and he got me to get this as well. This is just a standard primer and filler. That will be just I'll put this over top of this stuff that's here. So I spray this first, and then I spray this, and then he recommends 800 grit sandpaper. I can't remember if it was wet and dry, but I don't see why it would hurt. So 800 grit sandpaper, sand it back once this has been applied, and yep, and go from there. We do the base coat, which is obviously this one, and then once that's done, this is the clear coat that should finish it, and this is what will really make it pop, if you know what I mean. I also got some wax and grease remover. So yeah, I forget how expensive paint is. So yeah, so we will be sanding the rest of the engine bay. I'm only going to do places where it's obviously going to be seen when you're standing down looking down at the engine bay. Apart from that, this is just to get me started, because I might need to get more primer, I might need to make more paint up. But yeah, I'm actually thinking maybe I might paint the whole car myself. I'm not sure. It just depends how much it's going to cost to do at a shop, because I'm only doing the outside and I've been told it might not be that expensive. But anyway, let us go into the workshop and have a quick talk about the engine itself. Right, now we have gone into the workshop. This area here, sorry about the mess, but this is my little area where I work for my car. So this is a VG30 DETT twin turbo V6 motor. Comes out of the this is a JDM motor that's been imported, because when I bought the 300ZX a few years ago, we found later on when we pulled the heads off, because it'd been hydro locked, it bent a rod, or it snapped the rod, or it broke the bolts that go to the connecting rod, or whatever. So it was just not justifiable to put the money in to repair it, because there was a good chance the block would have been damaged quite significantly for it not to matter. So my father recommended me buying another motor, and as well as a few other people. So I did. I went and got a twin turbo motor. I went and rebuilt it, because when we got it we wasn't sure if it was a we didn't know the KMs on the motor, so, which is not a bad thing. It's just whenever you're putting in a motor and you don't know the Ks, you just don't know what's got. It's just like a lottery. You don't know if you got a good motor or not. So what we did, I'll just do a quick rundown of what we've done on the motor. So we've gone new timing belt, new seals, new gaskets. We've got ARP head studs, main studs, the washers and all those nuts and stuff. What else? New rings. Where the pistons live and the cylinders have been honed. So yeah, we got new idlers, timing idler pulleys, new water pump. We got these new, it just goes into the water block. We got a thermostat that's in a box somewhere. Timing, we got a timing adjuster. We actually got a new crankshaft sprocket. What else? A few other things. New oil pump. As I said, gaskets, new rings, new bearings, I should say. New bearings, just the OEM spec. I've measured them and all that, so we've got the right tolerances. What else? The rods themselves actually have ARP bolt fasteners and all that stuff. Yeah, just everything's just been redone. The turbos are fine. You couldn't see it before, so I had to turn the torch on my phone. Here this was broken when we got it, so I just grabbed another one off the old motor, the non-turbo motor. The sump itself had a hole in it, so we cleared out the oil in it, made sure there was nothing in it, sanded it back, welded, repainted so it wouldn't rust. And the plan is to, when we do decide to put the motor in, or before, is actually I'm gonna try run. This might be alright, like I don't mind this, but like this is probably the return line to the oil, for the turbos, return oil line. That's fine, but all the water lines and all other oil lines, etc., etc., I'm thinking of converting them to AN fittings, just so there's a chance I probably will have to take the motor out again. I don't know, I want to put bigger turbos or whatever, and I would like to make it easier on myself, because pulling this out, doing service on these motors is actually quite impossible. The only way to do it is to effectively and efficiently is actually removing the motor off out of the engine bay and all that stuff, and doing it on an engine stand. So yeah, apart from that, I need to just check, make sure that these ejectors are all good. I just slap them in there, all good. And actually, you're probably like, oh yuck, that's disgusting. Those rocker covers are disgusting. Well, no, we actually have. We've got painted rocker covers ready to go on. It's just when we put this motor in, I don't want to damage those, so I've got these old ones. Now over to the gearbox. We're converting not only the engine from a DE to a DETT, so from non-turbo to twin turbo, we are actually also going from an automatic transmission to a manual transmission. And you remember the video the other day where I got stuff in the mail? This is why this is for the gearbox. So we've got, I don't know if you can see in there, oh crap, but in there you can see where there's bolts and stuff. That surface here, gosh, it's really hard doing this upside down. That surface here, all around there, got a gasket for that, so I can put the thing back on. I need to get these switches. I just got new ones. I don't see one. So I got one of those. I got a reverse switch and a neutral switch. This has got new seals. I've checked we've opened it up. We've checked, make sure the bearings are fine. It looks like someone's actually gone in there and opened it at some point, because those gaskets, when I pulled them off, were pretty new as well. We got a gasket for that. That's what this was for. And this is actually the reason why I want to, with that bolt, is because this has got 3 nuts on it to space out this one bolt, and I don't like that. That's just a tiny bit keto. So that, and I need to make a bushing thing that will go into that. Apart from that, yeah. Oh yeah, and this is the dry shaft for the auto box. Tried to get this onto here, over here. Splines are different, too small, and so I'm going to have to look into buying a custom one from the States, because they have them already made and it's for that car. I'm obviously going to check my options to see how much it's going to cost maybe to make one from scratch here in New Zealand. Probably likely it's going to be just as much as buying one from the States. So yeah, what we need for this is the speedo gear for this, and yeah, and a slave cylinder for the gearbox. I've actually got a 6-puck clutch set up in my room. I've also got a light and flywheel for this, so there'll be videos on that at some point. Ooh, I don't know if that's good, but should be right. But yeah, that's the build really. I'm sorry that took a little bit of effort to explain, but yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention on the block, we also did a valve grind, and we just checked all the springs to make sure that they're all straight and not bent off to the side. They're all it checks out fine. When we got this motor, this thing was clean. The bore was just immaculate. So yeah. Now these are the turbos for the twin turbo setup of my VG30 DE TT. These are just stock ones. They're fine. I would take it apart, but I put this back together just so it's a lot easier. So I can just be like, I'll hold it and go, oh yeah, that goes there, and I can take this off all one by bit by bit. And you can see I've only finger tightened all this stuff. See, like all these bolts, I put them back, and so I know that those bolts live there. And yeah, those are the turbos. Nothing special. They honestly, they're a little bit too small. And you're probably wondering, Sean, why are we putting these stock turbos back in? Like, these are too small. You've done all that work. You've got head studs, main studs, ARP main studs, and all that stuff. You know, all that stuff done to it. Why are you doing this? To put it simply, I just want to get this running for now, and just to see what improvements we can do. As I will track it a few times and just drive it. And yes, I will. And later in life, we'll go to bigger turbos, but then I have to get bigger injectors probably, and then probably have to get an ECU to run all that, and probably have to upgrade the coils, the ignition coils, all that stuff. But that will be later on in life. But for now, I want to get it running, because this is almost 3 years since I've been doing this build, and it's about time I finish it. And that's why this is actually the reason why I'm doing these videos. So it gives me motivation to actually finish it. Alright, now we are, because we're not working on the Z, I'm just going to explain. So this is a 1991 Nissan 300ZX Fairlady. It's Japanese import. A few things that need to be done. This needs to come off, because as you can see there's a little garn growing in there. This is the big problem on the hatch, is that every single one of these 300ZXs, for some reason, it must be a manufacturing defect, they rust in these here. So I'm actually going to attempt to fix that instead of trying to find a new hatch itself. And you can see this is pretty nasty, but we will fix that and we will make it great again. Also here needs to be fixed, and this is why we need to remove that. Overall, the chassis is pretty stray. Earlier, as you saw, I got the paint ready, and the yellow is going to disappear and it's going to be pearl blue. I've decided that's what we've gone for. I did a little bit of test painting, just like with primer, to see how it would work on what it was going to look like in the engine bay. So it looks quite good. Alright, we are at the old non-turbo 300ZX motor, which is a VG30 DE. I've just got an adjustable spanner because I'm going to show you what happened to this motor. And when I went to pull this motor apart, well, I took the heads off to see if this was savable, and at first glance I thought it was. It's obvious it's not now, because it's obviously pitted now probably. It's been sitting here for a while since I pulled the motor out. But I'm going to hold it here and you'll see me move this. Oh yeah, she's in there. Oh, there we go, we're moving now. That's what happens when it sits for a while. So, you know, we're moving. Oh, that's making a mess. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah, we're moving. Oh, but wait, what's going on? Every single cylinder except that back right is not moving. Well, they are all moving except that one at the back on the right. I just noticed that one's not even moving either. Hang on. Oh no, it's gone. So it probably is savable, this block, but in all honesty, the amount of money to put into this motor to fix it, and probably having to take it completely apart, even though I have done that with the twin turbo block, it's probably not justifiable when I could spend the same amount of money on a new block to fix, to have a twin turbo motor from factory. All I have to do is get an ECU, which I have, which is a twin turbo ECU. I've got the harness, the engine loom for the twin turbo as well, so all I got to do, which you've already seen, is take that out, and then when we go to install a new motor, I just put the twin turbo engine loom and ECU, and we should be all dandy. A few things I would have to do to get it to work. I've got to make sure that the TT radiator fits and make sure everything fits. And before we even, I'm rambling off on a tangent, but before we do all that, I want to obviously paint the engine bay. And Kat really likes to sit around, as you can see. But yeah, I'm actually near the car. Yeah, so today I went out and got some paint, and yeah, I'm also going to paint the that cross member while we're at it too. Alright, we're back inside the house, and you're probably wondering what this is. So this is just me, and I'm probably going crazy, but it's a smart idea. Whenever you are working on a car, or even just owning a car, especially for my car, like I'm doing a big build, like thousands of dollars are going into this build, so it's a good idea. So if I ever do decide to sell the Z, which is probably unlikely to happen, because love the car too much, it's like my dream car that I've always wanted. It's just too bad it's too bad it doesn't run, and I've had to do all this. But anyway, I actually have a folder full of every single receipt, even the silliest, smallest things that every part that I've brought for that car, like the rod bearings, main bearings, the head studs, the main studs, the rings, everything you can think of, almost everything. I can't think of anything that I don't have for the receipts for this car, and I've got. It's thick. We've got heaps in there, but it's not just that. I've got registration in there, even receipts from when the car had been worked on from an auto electrician, and when it got another muffler and exhaust system put in at one point in its life. I've got everything for it. So even every time that I've gone to put the car on hold, I've saved those receipts. So at least when I do sell it, if I do sell it, and probably unlikely as I said before, I can go, well, here's the receipt for every single thing I've done for this car. So yeah, I would recommend doing it. So yeah. Alright, and that will conclude today's video. I probably look like absolute crap. But yeah, yeah, no, that's the story of the Z. The plans for the Z is just to get it running again to its former glory. We're going to paint it, maybe not now because we're looking a little bit thin on funds, but engine bay will get painted. That's what I went out today for. We got some paint for that. Hopefully that wasn't too boring for you guys, but yeah, that's the story of the Z, and we will see you in the next video.